County. Will be speaking to her on that particular bill and also some political matters just in the political field as far as current affairs is concerned here on the bottom line. Start engaging us on our socials at Amoy Brian on Twitter at Lookuptv. The hashtag we are using tonight is the Bottomline KE. I almost said Lookup Weekend. We are not in the weekend. It is the Bottomline KE. So start engaging us. We are also live on Facebook and on YouTube, so be sure to send your feedback on those particular social platforms and we'll be able to sample some of it as we continue with the program tonight. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Josephine Ouko. These are the top stories tonight.
Tonight on the bottom line, two middle-aged miners succumbed inside a 150 feet deep gold mine shaft due to lack of oxygen. And on the program tonight, she is pushing for a bill that seeks to deter hospitals from detaining patients and dead bodies, proposing a fine of 2 million to any entity that contravenes. Tonight, we speak to Kirinyaga women representative Njeri Maina on the bottom line.
Now, my name is Brian Amwai. Later on, like I mentioned earlier, we'll be having a conversation with Njeri Maina, who is the women representative Kirinyaga County, to talk about her push for hospitals to be fined if they decide to detain patients. All right? Engage us on our socials at Lookuptv across social medias. Now, let's start the program tonight. First Lady Rachel RUTO led the country in marking the inaugural Utamaduni Day celebrations at the Bomas of Kenya, noting that it is a day to honor and celebrate the cultural diversity, rejoice in the country's ethnic diversity, and bridge the gap in our traditional backgrounds. Now, the public holiday, formerly known as Moi Day, was initially renamed Huduma Day and later Utamaduni Day in 2020. Now, Utamaduni Day is marked by diverse celebrations that showcase Kenya's cultural richness, promote unity, and advance economic developments through cultural performances. The day brings together all of Kenya's ethnic, linguistic, and racial groups to share in music and dance.
Pomp and color. Spectacular traditional dances and music extravaganza. And a touch of African epic food preparations going back to ages and a unity in sharing marked this year's inaugural Utamaduni Day celebrations. An event that brought on display Kenya's rich cultural practices at Bomas of Kenya, with such shows spread across the country.
In diversity, we have unity. In diversity, we have strength. In diversity, we are indivisible. We also recognize that without culture, our identity is not there. So our culture is our identity.
It is truly a privilege and a great honor to speak to you on this occasion that celebrates our diverse cultural heritage, beliefs, customs that make up our beautiful country. On this inaugural nationwide celebration, we embrace the spirit of unity that our cultural diversity weaves, transcending time and reminding us of the strength found in our diversity.
First Lady Rachel RUTO, who was chief guest today, marveling in the performances.
The government is dedicated to promoting all forms of national and cultural expression, including literature, the arts, traditional celebrations, science, communication, information, mass media, publications, libraries, buildings, and other forms of cultural heritage.
This year's celebrations, one of a kind, themed celebrating unity in diversity.
Utamaduni Day presents us with an opportunity to bridge the gap between our diverse backgrounds. Each region of Kenya has cultural norms such as traditional dress, unique food, and a variety of languages, to name but just a few.
The First Lady has called for innovative marketing strategies that promote the country's culture while preserving and safeguarding its intellectual property.
As we celebrate this day, let it be a reminder of our commitment to loving and supporting brand Kenya and our diverse cultures. Let us take the initiative to explore different counties, immerse ourselves in their unique cultures, and contribute to the growth of domestic tourism in our great and beautiful country.
For a country that is so rich in diverse cultural practices, this year's Utamaduni celebrations has set precedents for epic future cultural displays. Henry Tende, Lookuptv.
All right, now happy Utamaduni to you, Utamaduni Day to you. I hope you did have a good celebration. And yes, away from that, Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs Musalia Mudavadi now says achievable solutions must consider both refugees and host communities. Hence, the government transitioning from camps to integrated settlements under the Shirika plan in a bid to counter the issue of refugee influx in different countries. Now, the Prime CS is in Geneva, Switzerland for a series of meetings aimed at finding transformative approaches for refugee inclusion and their role in promoting peaceful and prosperous societies. John Matava now reports.
The tour to Geneva, Switzerland comes barely a week after Prime CS Musalia Mudavadi was under the mandate to lead the foreign affairs docket in the recent cabinet reshuffle by President William Ruto. The Prime Cabinet Secretary stated that achievable solutions must consider both refugees and host communities, hence the need for the government to transition from camps to integrated settlements under the Shirika plan.
I carry with me the wisdom of refugees and host community stories that are a reminder that Kenya's history is intertwined with migration, challenges, and opportunities.
According to Mudavadi, Kenya has been home to over 80,000 refugees and asylum seekers, supporting them in returning to their countries of origin to rebuild their lives and nations.
Kenya has assisted over 80,000 refugees and asylum seekers in their voluntary repatriation efforts.
According to Jonathan Jackson, the UN resident coordinator in Kenya, the program has to jointly align with other key stakeholders for facelift.
Beyond that joint programming, we of course need to align with the support that will be coming from other actors, from the US, from the EU, from the World Bank, from the private sector.
John Burugu, the Commissioner for Refugees Affairs in Kenya, noted the importance of having a recognized documentation for refugees like ID cards and prior learning.
Identity card as a document that one can use to access services.
The Shirika plan involves a wide range of sectors, including education, water, sanitation and hygiene, health and nutrition, livelihoods, self-reliance, social protection, environmental management and energy, agriculture, housing, land and property, and other durable solutions.
Hosting communities in Garissa, Turkana and urban areas by mobilizing additional financial, technical and material support in the spirit of the responsibility sharing and enhancing refugee host community.
John Matava, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
All right, away from that, two men aged 38 and 39 tragically lost their lives after a 150 feet deep gold mine they were in collapsed in Ikolomani constituency, Kakamega County. Now, the two succumbed due to lack of clean air. Area Member of Parliament Bernard Shinali called on the miners to be wary and take precaution as they mine, especially with the onset of the El Nino rains.
Grief has engulfed Masianza village in Ikolomani constituency after two middle-aged miners succumbed inside a 150 feet deep gold mine shaft due to lack of clean air. The two aged 38 and 39 tragically lost their lives as they were mining.
Na tuko na mkasa hapa kwa wachimbaji migodi wawili wamefariki wakiwa kazini na wamefariki kwa sababu ya hewa mbaya katika shimo. So kwa hii shida yote hatujapata usaidizi wowote kutoka kwa serikali, kwabu hata hizi compressor zimekuja sio za serikali.
The residents led by chairman of gold miners in Shinyalu constituency has said the two individuals suffocated while mining within the shaft.
Kila siku tukienda mikutano serikali inasisitiza wanahitaji 50,000 kwa kila shimo na pesa za license, lakini hakuna msaada hata kidogo tunapokea kwa serikali. So tunashindwa hii serikali haja yao ni pesa tu na hawana msaada, kwa sababu hata barabara ya kuja hapa ni shida.
Ningeomba serikali yetu ya kaunti pamoja na serikali kuu mtusongee ili mtusaidie, kwa sababu tukipata mkasa hatuna mashini ya kutosha. Hata mashini ndio mfanyia saa hii tumetoka tu kuomba ya mtu, lakini kwa kaunti mzima hatuna mahali tumeweka mashini, tukipata shida yenye inaweza kutusaidia.
The member of parliament for the area, Bernard Shinali, who arrived at the scene, urged miners to take precautions, especially now as the nation expects the El Nino rains.
Tuwe waangalivu, tuwe tunaweza ingia tukiwa tumejihami, tukiwa na oxygen, tukiwa tumeangalia pia hali ya nyuta ambazo ziko hapo ndani, tujue ya kwamba ziko timamu, ili hali yetu ya safety ikwe tumeiwekea kipao mbele.
Tafadhali vijana wale mnafanya hiyo mining, whether mko chini ya wawekezaji wale investors ama mko peke yenu, tulieni kidogo, wacha mzimu wa mvua iende, alafu hapo nyuma hapo mbele karibu Disemba mwanzishe tena hii mkakati ya kufanya mining.
The bodies of the two were retrieved through the efforts of miners and moved to morgue at Kakamega General Hospital, awaiting an autopsy. Ruga Ebal, Lookuptv.
Now, businessmen in Maralal town in Samburu County held a protest over the increase in theft cases in the town. Led by area MCA Joseph Loloju, the traders noted that the protests have been brought about by the rise in the number of theft cases within the town, with the 25 shops broken into in the past week. Traders incurring losses amounting to 30 million shillings. Now, the traders now want security to be beefed up within the town.
Mambo ni magapi? Rais alituambia nini? Mambo ni magapi?
Maralal town business was paralyzed for the better part of the day as members of the business community held demonstrations amid the growing number of burglary in the town. The businessmen and women are calling on the government through the county commissioner's office to intervene and ensure security is beefed up.
Kama wanabiashara wa Maralal, mahali tumefika, tumesongeshwa, tuko kona.
Mumeona kina mama, wazee, vijana, maduka zikivunjwa. Haya ni machungu sana kwetu.
Maduka yale yamevunjwa katika town ya Maralal ni maduka kama 5-6.
Maralal town MCA Joseph Loloju blamed the local authorities led by the county commissioner for not prioritizing matters security, promising to lead the demonstrations for 3 consecutive days to force the authorities to beef up security.
All the security operators, kama mko hapa kama hamko, basi muambiwe na mshike masikio. Wananchi wa Maralal wameongea kwa kauli moja na wakasema, tafadhali msiposimamisha muondoke, mtuachie kaunti yetu.
Nyumba 10 iwekwe na tupatiwa vijana wale wanahangaika kazi za askari ya usiku kushunga.
However, Area Deputy Commissioner David Murage noted that the county government is making efforts to beef up security, calling on area residents on information on the theft cases to forward the intel so as to help in curbing such occurrences.
Serikali aichukue hatua. Mpaka sasa tumefunjwa kama baada ya 2-3 weeks hivi tumefunjwa karibu duka 25 na approximately karibu 30 million zimepotea. Na hiyo ni hasara kubwa sana kwa wafanyabiashara. Tunaomba county commissioner Bwana Wafula aitishe mkutano very urgent meeting.
Janet Koech, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
Kwa sababu tumeona maaskari wakiwa wanazuia.
All right, now statistics from the World Health Organization now shows that cases of mental health have risen by at least 25% compared to the year 2019. As Kenya joins the world in marking the commemoration of the day, the youth have been classified as the most affected by the matter's mental health, which has been attributed to lack of employment. Mevin Getembe now reports.
As Kenya joins the world in commemorating World Mental Health Day, statistics from the World Health Organization WHO indicate that mental illness have risen by 25%, with the youth the most affected. In efforts to mobilize Kenyans to work on mental issues, leaders have been called upon to support and engage the youth in tackling the rise. Participating in music and art has proven to be one of the strategies that have helped youths to overcome mental illness, with lack of employment termed as one of the main causes of mental illness.
So mi kwa art yangu kama dancer, mi hutumia dance kama therapy. Nikiwa na stress huko nje, mi nakaa na banjo kidogo kidogo, nasikia niko relieved kidogo. So mi advice yangu, si hata advice, kitu naweza ambia ma youth hapo nje nisijifanye najua, lakini naweza ambia ma youth, cheki kama uko na kitu yenye unataka kuongea na msee, bonga tu.
To smile following the grants received from nominated Senator Gloria Uroba, which according to them will help them start small businesses.
Mtaani at least tunawaambia mazee talent inalipa. Mi kwanza mimi nilikuanga na at time nikiwa pale kabla nijitambue niko na talent, from tambua talent mtaani, hapo ndo nilijitambua kumbe hii kitu inaweza pay.
After that Senator come through akatusaidia, akapeana little token na appreciation kuonyesha ana appreciate talent ya vijana.
Mahitaji ya nyumba, mahitaji ya kifamilia. Basic needs wanavyosema kwenye lugha ya Kimombo, singeweza kukimu, singeweza kununua, singeweza kulipa rent, singeweza kufanya chochote kile. Akasema kwamba maisha yamenifika mwisho. Nilikuwa na mawazo, kila ambacho nilikuwa nafikiria kwanza ni kujitoa uhai.
According to WHO report on mental issues, 10 to 20% adolescents suffer from mental issues, and about 50% of the issues affect children of 14 years. Diagnoses for mental illness include depression, substance abuse, stress, and anxiety disorders. A report by WHO ranked Kenya 5th among other African countries suffering from mental issues, while 2 million people suffer from depression, and 1 out of 4 Kenyans have presented mental illness at a point in their life. Kenya is ranked number 114 out of 175 countries with escalated suicidal rates. According to the statistics, the youth suffer most from mental issues, and as Kenya commemorates this day today, their call to the leaders is to come on board and help them nurture their talents. Mavin Getembe, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
All right, now we want to take a short break here on the Bottomline KE, but we do want to remind you about the Health Amendment Bill 2023, which is being pushed by Kirinyaga Women Representative Njeri Maina, which seeks to criminalize the detention of patients and corpses in hospitals and mortuaries over unpaid bills. Start engaging us on our socials at Lookuptv, that is on Twitter and on Facebook at Lookuptv. We are also live on Facebook, on YouTube rather. So be sure to send your feedback on those particular social platforms, and I'll be sampling some of it during the interview tonight. All right, we take that break. We'll be back in a moment.
We got good news for you. You have the opportunity to win up to 100,000 shillings cash money from Kuza Bees. It's easy to participate. Just open M-Pesa, Lipa na M-Pesa, account number 825454, account name right, Lookuptv, then deposit 99 shillings only. Remember, the more you participate, the more the chances of winning. Hurry now and be one of the winners of the Daily Cash Awards.
This game is BCLB licensed and is not open to persons under the age of 18 years. Play responsibly.
Are you looking for experts in waterproofing systems, concrete admixtures, flooring systems, refurbishment solutions, roofing, sealing and bonding, and building finishing systems? Look no more, as Sika Kenya got you covered. With over 113 years of experience, we offer our customers a comprehensive one-stop shop experience and the best technical support. Our products are available in all leading hardware stores and building merchants across the country. Call us today on 0711 140 232 or 0786 140 834, or email us on sales@ke.sika.com. Sika Kenya, building trust.
All right, welcome back to the Bottomline KE here on Lookuptv. Let's continue with the news tonight. Now, day 4 of war between Israel and Palestine countries, with the Palestinian Health Ministry reporting at least 700 deaths from Israeli bombing and airstrikes, including Jabalia refugee camp, after it imposed a total siege of the Gaza Strip on Monday, cutting off food, water and fuel supply in Tel Aviv.
Military spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari has confirmed that the Israeli military called up 300,000 reservists, with the Defense Ministry Yoav Gallant warning the Gaza Strip that they bear the repercussions, signaling plans for ground assault into the occupied Palestinian territory, as well as keeping up a sustained bombing campaign in the Palestinian crowded territory of over 2.3 million residents, which has endured repeated spells of war and airstrikes, with the expectation that the situation might worsen. Videos circulating online show the thick clouds of smoke rising in the sky of Gaza City following Israeli constant airstrikes, while scores of individuals climbing over collapsed buildings in search of survivors, with sources revealing that more than 130,000 Palestinians have fled their homes and are hoarding supplies amid constant Israeli barrage. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas called on the United Nations to immediately intervene to prevent the occurrence of humanitarian catastrophe due to the ongoing Israeli aggression, especially in Gaza. 4 days after a raid that shattered Israel's reputation of indomitability, Palestinian fighters are still said to be holed up in several locations in Israel. On Monday, Hamas warned that they were keeping Israeli prisoners safe in accordance with the principles of Islam, calling on counterparts in Tel Aviv to refrain from hitting civilians if they cared about the fate of Israelis in their custody. Stanley Lugaria, Lookuptv.
Now, the Narok County government, led by Governor Patrick Ole Ntutu, has commissioned an emergency and response center in preparation for the El Nino rains, following the classification of Narok County as a red spot by the Met Department. As Beatrice Kageha now reports, Governor Ntutu noted that Narok Town is one of the risky areas, as flash floods occur in the town every rainy season, with the county experiencing deadly floods in 2015, where 23 people lost their lives.
As the country prepares for El Nino rains from this month as forecasted by the Meteorological Department, the counties of Narok and Bungoma have already started putting in place measures to curb the effects caused by the heavy rains. According to Narok Governor Patrick Ole Ntutu, several areas in the county have been termed as hotspots, therefore necessitating early and adequate preparations.
Kaunti mzima, Narok Town imesemekana kila wakati ikinyesha mvua nyingi, utaona kwamba watu wanasombwa na maji, mali inasombwa na maji.
Kuna sehemu kama Kachongo huko Narok East, kuna Kimedet upande wa Transmara, na hata hapo Rorkorian pia wale ambao wanafanya mining.
Referring to the aftermath of the heavy rains experienced in 2015, Governor Ntutu reiterated the need to take precaution to avoid more damage and loss of lives.
Na leo hii tumefungua hii ofisi, tuko na toll free number ambayo wewe mwenyewe mwananchi ukiwa na shida unapiga hiyo namba, alafu unaweza saidiwa mara moja.
In Bungoma County, the Director of Special Programs Karen Wanyonyi noted that there are areas in the county that have already suffered the effect of El Nino, calling upon residents living near riverbanks to relocate to safer areas to avert the risks of being swept away by overflowing rivers.
5 wards have been hit recently by strong winds, which are amongst the effects of the El Nino phenomenon. And we've had cases in Luandanyi, we've had cases in Bwake, we've had Kimgui, Misanga, Namatondoi in Bokoli ward, and we've also had some parts of Bumula being affected by the strong winds. And apart from the strong winds, we also have other effects like floods, which of course will come about by the anticipated heavy rain.
Wanyonyi has also issued communication lines to ward administrators to be used by residents to call for assistance from rescue experts during emergencies.
The communication line for incidences or scenarios related to the El Nino phenomenon are intended to be communicated through 0799 001100, And we also have a second line, 0799 002200. And because we are partnering hugely with Kenya Red Cross Society, we also have their hotline, 1199.
Beatrice Kageha, Lookuptv.
Now, the effects of climate have been faced far and beyond. In Kajiado County, a handful of women have resorted to crop farming despite pastoralism being the predominant in the region. Now, the women, through small self-groups, have ventured into crop farming, which is heavily dependent on irrigation. Many of them now open to practicing large-scale farming due to success of the current projects.
List counties in the country, with heavy rains expected in the country, a handful of women have ventured into farming. Birika Kikonyoike ward in Kajiado West constituency, we meet a group of 22 women who previously into the milk business but have now ventured into smart agriculture. The women can be seen working hard in their small farming, an area classified as an ASAL region where residents primarily engage in livestock farming. However, the women have embraced the idea of changing the situation and learning about farming.
Mimi kama mama ya Kimasai siku anajua kulima, lakini kwa saizi nimekuja kulima, nimekuja kuelewa kulima.
Due to the effects of climate change, these residents have been forced to adapt to this pattern through formation of small groups in order to learn more about modern farming skills on crops such as yellow beans, onions, melons, maize, spinach and kienyeji vegetables like managu.
Ndisha si mambo ya kulima na tumefaidika na hiyo mambo ya kulima, sababu hata hii kitu tumepanda hii kwa shamba hatujawahi panda sisi, hatujui, na saa hii tumejua hii iko na faida, sababu hata itakuwa mboga sisi tulikuwa hatujui hii, lakini sasa hii nimekuja kujua. Kazi ya ng'ombe siku hizi hatuna kazi ya ng'ombe, sababu siku hizi mvua nyeshi na nyesha mara moja naisha. Sasa ng'ombe hafaidika, hatuna faida na ng'ombe kwa sababu hatuna nyasi.
Changamoto mingi sana ile tuko nayo eneo hii ni mvua, maji. Maji ndio shida sana. Otherwise tungekuwa na maji tungekuwa mbele na tungefanya miradi mikubwa. So maji ndio shida zaidi.
Bob Aston, the project officer, tells us that the move is aimed at encouraging the community to engage in farming. However, one will ask, what methods do they use to sustain these crops?
Most of the women have embraced this, or even adopting solar-powered drip irrigation. And so this for us has been a success story for us because of the number of farmers that we are seeing currently trying either to adopt solar-powered drip irrigation or even starting their own kitchen gardens at their homesteads.
Having learned new farming skills and putting them into practice, therefore being able to provide for their families through the sale of their farm produce, the group members are excited, noting that the project has helped improve their family's diet habit and enriched nutrition. Bridget Agola, Lookuptv.
Thank you, Bridget Agola, for that particular report. Now, moving on to a day that's a story rather that is in line with what you're celebrating today. Now, as the country marked Utamaduni Day with inaugural celebrations held at the Bomas of Kenya, the Kakuma Sound Cultural Dance Troupe capitalized on the opportunity by entertaining local and international tourists at the Kakuma refugee camp in Turkana County. Gala Luda features the group, which is sponsored by UNESCO and UNHCR.
Kakuma Refugee Camp, Turkana County, where we meet Kakuma Sound Cultural Dance Troupe that has been making headlines for its unique approach to attracting tourists with a dance troupe made of individuals from various backgrounds. Taina Tumwa is the CEO of the group.
After hii tunaweza tengeneza exhibition center ambaye wageni watatoka nje kuja kuona vitu ambaye iko kwa kambi. Wasifikirie kambi tu ni mahali wa refugee wanakaa wajiezi. Tunataka kufufua kambi ikuwe tourism attraction center where mtu anatoka Amerika kikuja hivi anakuja kuona Kakuma hizi culture zao ziko nini na nini. Hizo vitu tunataka kuonesha.
They have united to share their stories and traditions with the world. Tourists who visit the camp not only enjoy the spectacular performances, but also have the opportunity to learn about the refugees' lives and challenges that they have come to overcome.
Kuwa na sherehe ya Kakuma Sound kama wakimbizi wote hapa hivi Afrika, na Kakuma Sound imetufurahisha kasi sisi wa Afrika wote hapa hivi kujua matamaduni mbalimbali. Kuna Somali, kuna Oromo, kuna Sudani, yote tumekusanyika hapa hivi kuweza kujuana na kuweza kujua utamaduni wa kila kabila ni gani na gani, na tunashukuru sana kwa kuwa Kakuma Sound imeweza kutusaidia sisi wa Afrika.
Nyamali Vinta, a refugee from Sudan, says in addition to dance performances, the refugee have set up a craft market where they sell their handmade goods from jewelry to clothing, offering tourists a chance to take a piece of Kakuma's culture home with them.
Tengeneza hizi tunauza. Kinunua ndio tunaenda kulipa wa mama wale metengeneza.
What has been even more remarkable is that the project is being sponsored by the UNESCO and United Nations High Commission for Refugee Camps. Alo Dagail, Lookuptv.
All right, now the Swedish Embassy, in partnership with the county government of West Pokot, have derived mechanisms through various projects in a bid to help them find alternative ways to fend for their families. Ebi Kadenyi now reports.
In a bid to support and change the lives of pastoralists in West Pokot County, World Vision, in partnership with the Swedish Embassy, have come up with various strategies, including the introduction of coffee farming, with Area Governor Simon Kachapin noting that the county has great potential in matters of crop farming.
The same program is targeting the livelihoods of people, especially mitigating against climate change. And as people of West Pokot, we want to say that the effects are positive because capacity building, especially to our women, and capacity building on issues of education, so that our people also change.
In Kisii County, parents with children living with the physical challenges, those with autism, albinism conditions, have lamented discrimination in getting government services, including being denied registration under the Social Protection Law, whose registration is ongoing. They, however, petitioned the government to ensure they're not discriminated in getting essential government services.
Kuna changamoto kubwa sababu kama unapata wakati mwingine askari wanapokea hongo, madaktari wanapokea hongo. Sasa hii hongo hata inaenda hata kwa ofisi ya ODPP inakuwa ngumu sana hawa wadada zetu kupata haki tunapopata ya kwamba pesa zinabadilishwa mikono ili kupiga vita haki za hawa wenzetu ambao wanadhulumiwa.
Elsewhere, the county government of Kilifi has partnered with various stakeholders in the fight against gender-based violence in the county. Statistics from the Department of Gender, at least 3 out of 10 people from Kilifi County are victims of cases related to gender-based violence. According to Governor Gideon Mungaro, his government is working around setting up a department that will deal with the issues of gender-based violence, including providing assistance to the victims.
In the county, we have the first where our women and girls who are violated can be secured, and those little kids who have not been to school will create a school in the same center that they can learn, because we cannot take back the kids who have been violated, some of them by their own family members, that we expect them to go back to the same homes. So I want to encourage you and tell everybody that we are in this together.
Finally, in Embu County, the education stakeholders have noted an increase in the spread of HIV/AIDS, gender-based violence, and teen pregnancies among girls between the age of 10 and 14 years. Regional HIV Coordinator Julius Kome revealed that most men who are infected are not on drugs due to stigma, with an alarming 65% of children affected are in school.
Going forward, the Ministry of Education or education stakeholders, the prayers in education will be brought on board on this topic.
Ebi Kadenyi, Lookuptv.
Now, Kenya national team Harambee Stars kicked off preparations today for the scheduled friendly match against Russia. Head coach Engin Firat has named 14 players who will take on Russia on the 16th for a friendly match. Kenya lost to South Sudan 1-0 at Kasarani Stadium last month. Firat is, however, optimistic of the squad for good results against Russia. Now, AFC Leopard has parted ways with their head coach Tom Juma just a few days after they lost 2-0 against Gor Mahia in their FKF Premier League at Kasarani Stadium. Now, Leopards sit 17th on the Kenya Premier League table.
Who has registered a poor start this season with 6 winless matches. Ingwe lost 1-0 to KCB, drew 0-0 against Muhoroni Youth, 2-2 against Kenya Police, 1-1 against Shabana, and recently lost 2-0 against arch rivals Gor Mahia, placing them 17th in the FKF Premier League standing with 4 points. Tom Juma was appointed as head coach, taking over from Belgian tactician Patrick Osims, who turned down his contract with Ingwe last season. Thomas Tucher's first litmus test will be against Badari FC, who also fired their manager Twahir Muhyiddin. The fixture is scheduled to be played after the international break. Reporting for Lookup Sports, I'm Ruth Washeke.
All right, that story by Ruth Washeke brings us to the end of our news tonight here on the Bottomline KE. But we do want to take a break. When we come back, we'll be taking a look, or rather we'll be having that conversation with Kirinyaga women representative Njeri Maina on the health amendment bill